guess what? I'm opening up the Homeschool Mama Retreat again. Who is it for? Well, let's talk about who this retreat might be for. It is for you if you happen to be a homeschool mom that is kind of feeling tired and done, unmotivated in their homeschool. And it might not be just because it's February. It might be for you if you love your kids and you really are kind of tired in general with life, but to be honest, between you and me, you're also kind of tired being with the kids. And you're kind of tired of this homeschool thing and are questioning whether this is supposed to be for you. It might be for you if you have a sneaking suspicion that you have boundary issues and you can't quite get a handle on your boundaries. It might be for you if you have a relationship issue that you know is sapping your energy in your greater life, your homeschool, or just your general life. This retreat is probably for you if you're not sure if you're doing this homeschool thing good enough. I hear that often. Am I doing this good enough? And you have a sneaking suspicion that you really aren't. Or maybe you think that maybe you have a sneaking suspicion that you're just framing it wrong. Your perspective is off. This Homeschool Mama Retreat might be for you if you feel overwhelmed. And there are so many reasons to be overwhelmed, but it might be dirt, noise, and responsibilities, or the overarching sense that there is just a lot on your plate and you and other people are expecting you to do a lot for your homeschool. This retreat might be for you if you're feeling guilty, that how you're doing this homeschool thing, maybe how you're showing up in your homeschool isn't really working for your kids or you. And you'd be embarrassed if someone actually were watching you. There's a sense of guilt that you just don't know how to deal with. This Homeschool Mama Retreat might be for you if you think you're probably unrealistic with your expectations, as often we homeschool mamas kind of are. But you're not really sure if they are unrealistic expectations or you just don't know how to do this thing. And possibly even unrealistic expectations with yourself and how you're showing up in your life. Maybe that's you. This retreat might be for you if you know that you are showing up with your kids in a way that really isn't how you want to show up. You don't have a supportive community that comes alongside you, cheering you on in your homeschool journey. You know that you could do more in your life than you're doing, even in the homeschool realm. There's something bigger and you just have an inkling that you're not tapping into it yet. Or you're constantly feeling stress, like I heard from one mom who is dealing with a neuroatypical child. And so there are other stressors in her homeschool and also other kids. But there's so many reasons to feel stressful these days. These homeschool days are compounded by all the things that are going on in our world. So these are some of the people that this Homeschool Mama Retreat might be for. You know, as I've dug deep with other homeschool moms one-on-one, I've learned that our instincts to, bury our feelings or to keep on keeping on despite the issues that we're facing is pretty strong. And though in these last couple years we've been able to ignore it, or before these last couple years we've been able to ignore some of the challenges, these last couple years have made it much more difficult for us to ignore the things that we can't ignore. All of our coping mechanisms and our defense mechanisms are peeled back from us and we are just dealing with a whole bunch more, or things aren't just so easy to tap into so we can ignore the things that we have before. You are not the first one to say that things feel kind of overwhelming or there's just too much going on. And yet you're still pushing past and saying, I'll just keep on keeping on. And I get that. I really do, because I've been there. I've been there where I've had a mountain of feelings and issues and I ignored it anyway. Or at least I thought I could ignore it until I couldn't ignore it anymore. And that mountain of undealt with feelings or issues eventually will topple us and we feel suffocated or resentful or just like, okay, we'll just force past no matter what. So I've been there. I have finally engaged that mountain. I have dealt with those things or engaged those things and come up with a plan for those things. And I've seen other homeschool moms do it too, where they have addressed those things. I'm going to offer a free webinar on Thursday, February 24th, to help you learn more about this Homeschool Mama Retreat. If you are already a podcast Patreon, you know you have a 14% discount on the retreat. And if you're not a Patreon member, but you'd like to be, or you're curious about it, you can always check the link in my bio, because there's access to extended live interviews of podcast guests, and also a casual coffee chat or tea chat if it's the afternoon with me. Each week we're going to connect for deepening, clarifying conversations with gentle accountability to accomplish your goals in your homeschool mama life. And that is the goal of the Homeschool Mama Retreat. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorites, is this: our chief want is someone who will inspire us to be what we know we could be. So if this is you or you're interested, let me know.